Libra, let's talk about Libra. So, what is it like? What is their personality like? What is it like to date them? What is it like to know them, deal them, be friends with them, have them in your life? What do you need to know about them? Maybe you are a Libra and you would like other people to understand you better. So in that case, you can share this video on, your social media platform, or to proudly show people who you are, or you can send it to someone who you'd like to maybe explain a little bit who you are. Because the one thing about Libra, it is sometimes difficult for the energy of Libra to explain pretty much where they come from, you know. So my name is Adrian. I am a life transformation guy, and I use all the knowledge that I've attained through the years and that I'm still studying, to help other people to find their way, to find the healing, to understand themselves better, to understand other people better, to use my life in service of humanity, to contribute towards a better future for the next generation. And that is pretty much a Libra thing as well. I'm not a Libra, I'm a Cancerian, but you know, Libra is very much about what can I do now to help others, to help the next generation, to help with balance. So sort of like, what sort of ancestor would I be? What sort of legacy do I leave behind? How do I help the world become better? It is very much that mindset of like generational wealth, when you think of generational wealth in families, where you take responsibility and you make provision for the people that come after you. That is something that Libra gets very nicely. That is them, that is their vibe. All right, so if you are here, welcome. If it's your first time here, I'd like to welcome you. If you're coming back, welcome back. If you haven't yet done so, please go ahead and subscribe, like the video. It helps the channel to grow, which I really appreciate. And also, if you are a Libra or you're dealing with a Libra, leave a comment. Let me know where in the world we are connecting from. I am in this beautiful, beautiful valley, like a small town in the mountains in South Africa called Greyton. And literally it's like, like you get those Hallmark movies that you say like places like that only exist in movies. I actually live in a place like that. It is so beautiful. Okay, all right, doing my consultations in person, online, it's just beautiful. It's wonderful the way the world connects us all. I really love that. Okay, do you too? Because I do. All right, so into Libra. So Libra is a very unique sign. It's almost like you get all the different zodiac signs and then you get Libra. They pretty much in a category of their own, which is why sometimes it can be very, very challenging for people to understand them, to grasp them, and also sometimes for Libras to actually, yes, oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. Libras are very good at fitting in with situations, but there can be a lot of tenseness that goes along with that. Like the air signs in general, because they've got such fast moving energy. So Aquarius, Gemini, which I already did videos for, with Libra, there can be that tenseness, that anxiety thing, because air signs is fast moving energy. Okay, it's like the wind. You can't see the wind, but you can see the effect of its force. And that is very much air signs, and Libra is sometimes, I kind of see Libra almost like it's in the middle. If you want to put like the air signs in a row, Gemini, Libra, and sort of Aquarius, both Aquarius and Gemini are very extreme energies. In fact, so is Libra. But it's almost like with Libra being that scales, that balance. It's like this in between, not always knowing what to do. And there's sort of like 5 points that I want to touch on here, and then I'm going to expand on those. I'm not putting in timestamps because I want you to look at the whole video, because it's better to understand all of who people are, because that gives us the opportunity to love them better, or to understand yourself better, so you can love yourself better and the world can reflect that back to you. Okay. So we're going to speak about balance. It's a thing for them. Creativity, they're very artistic. How they deal with conflict, that's especially important if it's going to be in love. And nobody loves like these people. Oh my goodness. If you've been loved by a Libra, oh my goodness. And they've got this beautiful maternal instinct, which depending on the person that they're dealing with and depending on where they are, sometimes this can be very welcomed, very embraced, or completely repelled. I really want to say this with a touch of salt. I'm going to explain a little bit more, but Libras can sometimes, from the best of intentions, have some challenges with boundaries. When, they can just come in and, they can just talk and just be there. And they're very enigmatic. All the air signs really are, but especially Libra. They have got this almost like a demure sense about them that attracts, like the person, like you go into a bar and, you've got that one sort of like, cool cat that is sitting, somewhere in a corner and just quietly kind of like observing everybody and not interacting, and by not interacting, that person sort of draws everybody in. That is very much a Libra sort of thing. Okay, it is. If you know what I'm talking about, let us know in the comments. But it's very they've got a very enigmatic energy. All right, and sometimes Libra on the dark side can actually they can become very manipulative sometimes. And they wouldn't see it as manipulative because it will justify it in their minds. All right. So there is definitely something to look out for if you are, Libra. The cool thing is that once these people love you and you are in the inner circle, you are here forever. All right. These people love for lifetimes. They commit for lifetimes. They're very much about wanting to know who they are, what is my identity, how do I make an impact on this world, how do I serve, they've got very much those things going on. And so, when you, so when your birthday is basically between 23 September and 22 October, that's when you are in the Libra category. That means that the sun was in that zodiac house when you were born. Okay. Now, something very interesting about Libra is that, the two scales, basically, the balance that Libra is all about, it's all about justice. And that is the ancient Greek sort of, god, Themis, that is all about justice, divine law, divine custom. But also remember that when we speak about balance and divine custom and divine law and that sort of thing, when we think back of times like ancient Greece, which is even before ancient Egypt, then, it's they saw the world in a very different place. What we say as divine order, to them could easily be flogging somebody naked down the road type of thing, So in that sense, even when Libra feels that they're not being heard, or where they feel they're not being respected, and especially, oh my holy goodness, if these people begin to understand that you are taking advantage of them, they will draw back, and you will feel that drawing back. They don't have to say anything. If there is one zodiac energy, if there is sorry. If there is one zodiac energy that can communicate so much without saying anything at all, it is Libra. Wow. Here's the thing though, Libra, we're going to get into these points now. I just want to give you some general things first. Libra is, they will do anything for the person that they care about. Really, really, honestly. But, and whatever you want, they will do it. That's a very air sign thing in general. It's also a very water sign thing. But I think it's a very human thing, really. But Libras especially, they will do anything. Anything. Okay? Until they sort of realize that you're trying to manipulate them. They will cut you off cold. And here's the thing that's worst about them cutting you off cold sometimes in that instance. The only thing worse about Libra not saying anything is Libra telling you how they feel. Baba, I don't want to be on the receiving. Whoa. Don't want to be on the receiving end of that. And they wouldn't mean to be telling you off. They just want to kind of set the record straight so you can move on and they can move on. These people can be a little bit no fault. Actually, they can be quite a lot no faulter. you know. And also, you know, here's the thing about Libra. Libra is in love. Libra's looking for a place where they can feel safe. Their minds are very all over the place. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. So if they can be with you and just be with you, and you know, you can be in that space where you know, Libra's got this idea that they always need to figure out the problem. So if you can say, how about we work it out together? You know, how about I take care of this for you, but you better take care of it if you say you're going to take care of it. Okay? These people don't like to be disrespected. Like, you can get away with almost anything. But if you disrespect them, I tell you, no word of a lie, it is the end for you. This is how your story ends. Full stop. The end. And also, you know, the thing is, though, that Libra will tell you that they are fine. But it can take them very, very long to get over pain. And if you want to know the truth, look in their faces. If they look you in the eyes, they're good. And they've got this thing, it's almost like on the sides of their eyes. It's not as open. It's almost like a little bit of the sides of the mouth as well. But, you know, it's almost like they can't really hide how they feel. You know, it's like there's a tenseness here when they are sad. You know, you can see it actually. All right. And they don't like the idea of having to hide away. These people are very natural, sort of like intuitively connected. They typically quite sort of like, you know, introverts. They are the textbook description of extroverted introverts. You know, Libra can be very public, but there'll be a part of the world that you won't know about, that they keep almost like a sanctity space. All right. If you, for example, look at somebody like Queen Elizabeth, you know, she was this ruler. She did amazing things. She spent her whole life in service, but nobody really truly knows things about Queen Elizabeth. You know, I mean, she was the head of pretty much the most famous family in the world, you know, and you don't really know that much about her. So there's that sense of openness, but there is the sacred part that they keep very safe to themselves. And that's very important to Libra. And if you are, you know, you will know when you're getting into the inner circle, because they will start sharing very personal things with you. And you will especially know that you are on the inner circle when they can start showing emotion with you. All right? And it's quite interesting. They would like, it's almost like Aquarius will always be like, why am I crying? Libra will be like, I'm crying right now because I'm feeling this emotion and I'm sharing it with you. It's a very big thing to them. It's a very big thing to them. Okay? The quite the interesting thing about Libra is also that the other zodiac signs are all ruled by an animal. You know, so like, you know, Cancer's the crab and that sort of thing. Whereas with Libra, they are the only one that is sort of like represented more sort of like by this object, you know, the scales type of thing. All right. Let's just quickly see. All right, let's get into these points. So, balance. Libra's all about balance. But here's the thing. They're a little bit of a restless soul. These people are very natural, sort of like adventurous, you know. Can take forever to make a decision, by the way. Forever. You know. And sometimes get a lot of anxiety around making the decision. Libra essentially wanted love. And the interesting thing with them is that they connect for life. They mate for life. But if they, you know, somehow lose their you know, their partner, their lover, their spouse, you know, whatever happens, they won't most likely stay alone forever, because there's their balance. It doesn't feel, it's an imbalance. It doesn't feel right. You know, these people love love. They love life. You know, they are ruled by the planet Venus, which is all about love and beauty and harmony, which is also, you know, they like nice things, you know, which is quite interesting because they are some of the most humble people that you can find, but they like their shiny stuff. They like their comforts. They like the nice teacup. They like the nice curtains and the view. And So when you, for example, speak about roughing it, Libra is not typically going to be that interested in roughing it. And if they rough it, they're going to rough it in style. you know. Also, these people can be quite promiscuous. Like you would never, ever, ever guess it. But I think it's almost like that energy that draws people to them in the first place because, my goodness. But, again, it's all about the balance. These people want to go at it rough and crazy like somebody who's trying to top the best porn star in the world. But then they also want the gentleness. All right, so they want both sides. They want the balance, and they typically want more of the gentleness. So before they're going to show you that incredibly freaky side of them, because they want the gentleness first. They want to feel that they're emotionally safe with you, that they can emotionally trust you, because these people's emotions are, it's almost brittle sometimes. Libra can get very, very deeply hurt, and they will tell you that they're okay, and then they're not okay. All right, so they like balance, and they've got a sense of natural sensuality. It's like they float through life. It's like my theta healing instructor, for example, who is an amazing person. Her name is Nianel. There's a link for her in the description. Who's also now my theta healing coach. She's just got that something about her that it just draws you in. But then, not so much these days, but in the younger days, she was this mega, mega, mega star. Music star, singer-songwriter, in South Africa, creating amazing music. Like you might even know that song, Who Painted the Moon, that was covered by Hayley Westerner on her album Pure. Who painted the moon black, just when you took your love back? Oh, painted the moon black, won't you come back? That song was written by her, and in a space of like maybe 30 minutes. The Libras, like they see an inspiration, they can go for it right away. They're very good at seeing opportunities. Okay. And they're very creative, which is sort of like going along with that sort of, songwriting performance. And even when you look at, at Nianel, like who's now my theta healing instructor, but she used to be this mega star, she's still quite big, but I mean, she used to be huge. But at some point, again, with Libra, you get tired of it. So you have this extreme and then you have that extreme. These people don't typically have the middle ground, And they also have this tendency to, at some point in their life, normally around their 40s, 50s maybe, more the 40s, they will do this complete life change. So you go, for example, like my friend, you go from being this singer, this entertainer, this really, I mean, this woman had great success. She performed with Andrea Bocelli, all sorts of interesting things. And it's almost like they get to a point where they do it and then they want to do something else. So they can do that shifts, those unexpected shifts. Another one is a friend of mine who is a theta healing. No, I'm a theta healing instructor. Who's a quantum regression hypnosis practitioner, BQH Beyond Quantum Healing. Beautiful work. She's done amazing stuff. I've done sessions with her. I've been a surrogate with her. So basically, when people believe that they can't go into trance, I go in trance on their behalf because I'm very intuitive. And all I would need to know is their name. So basically, they will have questions. She'll ask a question for me, play it back to the client. So we've been working together like that for quite a bit as well. And, she also has that beautiful, beautiful energy about her, but also the balance. But then, of course, the indecisiveness, which all Libras have. But the wonderful thing about Libra is when they make a decision, they're going to go for that, which can be a great thing because it really makes them achieve things in life. But in the same token, they sometimes hold on much longer than is actually, to their benefit. All right. But there's I actually got a couple of Libra friends. Another one of mine, this wonderful lady, she is, she used to be in hospitality for quite a bit. And now, she's a property broker and doing amazing. So do you see again that life shift, from this to that? A thing though with Libra, because they sometimes, can be so emotionally high-strung. These people can appear calm and serene on the outside to the point that you feel like, oh my goodness, they got their life together and I do not. And the inside, they might be busy getting like a complete nervous breakdown and you won't even be able to tell. So it's quite a thing sometimes with Libras. Another actually example that jumps to mind is it's a male friend of mine, who is like a sports instructor. He's very like buff and again very good looking. I actually met him a couple of years ago when both of us were at an open day, and we were going to go work for Amazon. The branch in Cape Town, like customer service. But there must have been about anything from 150 to 180 people in that room that day. And I remember we were sitting around the same table and we were like right at the back, and still he sort of stood out. People saw him right from the front, and he's got this beautiful thing that he will be like, Uncle AD, just teasing me. It's like, Uncle AD, can I come around and, for a cup of tea? And it's like, don't do anything, and so he will, bring all these teas and herbs and like make you feel so special in your own home. That's a very Libra sort of thing, and when you give to them, oh, they are so appreciative. They are such beautiful people. They always take such care of you. That is a very Libra thing, I mean, I've got another one. Even this one lady, she calls herself my fairy godmother. Also, like, just I've got quite a lot of Libras in my life because I love who they are. I really love who they are. And they always try to find the most amicable solution. Problem is sometimes they throw themselves under the bus. Okay? So that is one of their big lessons to learn. But this is also the beautiful thing. When they learn, they share. So if you are with Libra, prepare yourself for a person who really wants to spoil you and pamper you, but they want you to spoil and pamper as well. I think that for Libra, their love languages are probably sort of like, doing little acts of kindness, but also spending special time together, but especially those little acts of kindness. Okay? They love to give, they love to share, they love to receive. They are beautiful people. Very creative. Here's the thing with Libra though, especially when they feel under threat, when they don't feel heard, they can become manipulative, very manipulative. They can also be very convincing. They can sort of talk you into something and you just say yes. All right. So Libra in pain, they can use that charisma that they naturally have to get what they want. And they can sometimes do it very calculatively. All right. They've got this beautiful enigmatic thing. Essentially, Libra wants comfort in life, comfort in love, comfort in the mind. They're all about peace. They're all about how can I help? How can I serve? They're very conflict avoidant, very prone to stress, but here's also the thing that you have to know. You want to know this. If Libra fights with you, they love you. If they don't fight with you, it's not that they don't love you, but you're not so in the inner circle. It's true. It really is true. They can be a little bit over-giving sometimes. They will see somebody needs help, they understand that they can help, and they just want to help. And in that sense, they can sometimes get themselves in a tight spot where maybe they blur the lines a little bit, say between clients, for example. They become too friendly with them, maybe overgive, give things for free too much, overcommit them. They're very present in where they are. So, they will be things like, let's say you're in the moment, you talk about something, it's very exciting, like, yes, let's do it. And afterwards, they go like, oh my God, overcommitting themselves quite a lot. Libra itself, so I just want you to see that they're in this middle of the zodiac energy. So sort of Virgo on the one side, which is all Mercury, fast energy. Okay. And then Scorpio on the other side, which is ruled by sort of Pluto and Mars, which is very heavy energy, and Libra's in the middle. So they always have that, sometimes they have that sense of feeling in the middle. And sometimes even when Libra's really, really happy, they can still, be prone to doubting themselves and things like that. Okay. They're ruled by the planet Venus, which is all about beauty and those sort of things. Another zodiac energy that is ruled by Venus is Taurus. And Taurus also like their pretty stuff. And, for anybody that knows Taurus, beautiful people, little bit secretive. They can go to the two extremes very quickly. So also look at those sort of things, the correlations between actually Libra and Taurus. They're quite there. But it's funny because Taurus and Libra are both like, no, I'm unique. Where Libra will be more open to say, okay, I'm unique on my own, but how am I also part of everyone else? How do I see myself in everyone else? Where Taurus is quite funny. My brother-in-law, who I am so fond of, he'll be like, no, you see, Adrian, I'm special. I'm the prize. That's a very Libra thing to say, sorry, a very Aquarius, Taurus thing to say, Aquarius also actually. So this thing about being conflict avoidant with Libra, though, can sometimes land them in hot water. Because sometimes they don't say things when they need to say them, and then they like this, like a pressure cooker, they can explode. And again, trust me, when Libra explodes on you, Baba, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that. You do not. They will make you rethink everything. But the beautiful thing about Libra is that they are so, they will definitely own up to things. Problem, though, is that Libra has this idea that everything is always their fault. So sometimes they apologize too much. They can overcompensate for something that's not their fault, and people can take advantage of them. But I'm telling you this, you will only be able to take advantage of Libra up to a certain point. They're not going to give you the opportunity. Actually, sometimes they will let you do the bad thing to them over and over and over until they reach that final point. Full stop. End of story. Bye, bye, bye. Sorry. They've got this very maternal thing. They're beautiful at de-escalating situations. Like I said, like my friend that comes around and he brings because he knows I like tea and herbal teas and stuff like that. So he will bring all of those things with a little brewer and stuff like that. So this is what Libra loves to do. Their love language is doing little things. So they want to come around, they want to do something nice to you, they want to make you feel better, but they want to feel appreciated for it. Okay? They like it when they can. These people really like gratitude. So they're those people that if you make love, they're going to be like, thank you. And, they expect you to thank each other. They like to have fun. They laugh. They're really funny. Oh my goodness, they're so funny. They're not even trying to be funny. And Libra has a dirty, nasty, freaky mind. You won't believe it. They'll be like, let's try that. You're like, you're sure? Yeah, let's try it. They're really great leaders. They're really, really great leaders. They always try their best to be there for everyone. So I can say this, that if you get to be with a Libra in your life, Baba, you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong. Okay? Let me know how you feel. Are you a Libra? Are you dealing with a Libra? What's the vibe? Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to connecting with you on the next video.